Well, hello everyone. This is Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. It's Friday afternoon, the 6th of January, 2023. And we had a really fabulous day in the market today. We'll take a look at that. This video shouldn't be too long. Lucky for you, I don't have very many slides. So let's just jump right in and see how the markets are doing and what it might be telling us. Of course, the video presentation is intended for educational purposes only. The discussion of any security is not a recommendation to purchase or sell the security. Please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And whenever you have any questions about any content that I cover, feel free to email me, bruce@fleetcapitalmanagement.com. The homepage of our website, fleetcapitalmanagement.com, has two buttons on it. One will take you directly to the weekly market analysis video. The other, if you need to schedule a video call with me, just click that and it will take you right to my calendar and we can get that done. So let's scroll over. And the first thing we want to look at, I'll move this, is our trend analysis. Remember, if you watched the last video, we have an updated trend analysis system. This set of indicators to the right is weekly, and that's for Group 2, a little bit more conservative accounts. The center is daily indicators, and that's more for Group 1, a little bit more aggressive. They want to try to get into a new trend change earlier. And the indicators to the far left are my trade trigger. So if I'm ready to make a trade, I really want to see one or better both of these be positive, and that kind of gives me an indication that it's a good time to trade. For instance, on this particular day, 12:15, both of these daily indicators were up, so it sounds like it's a great time to trade, but both of the trigger traders were down. Trigger indicators, I should say, were down, and you can see it kept us out. So these are well-tested indicators, and will they be right 100% of the time? No, probably right a whole lot more than they're wrong. Probably 80, 90%. So that's good enough for me. So that's where our trend is. Before we go over to the market charts, let's take a look at a couple of our systems. We did not make any new stock trades this week. Here is this week. The Group 2 obviously is still in a down situation. Group 1 until today was in a down situation. So yes, my scanners showed some new stocks, but I was very hesitant. I didn't go in because we didn't get a couple of ups. But today we had this blast off in the market, mostly because of a recognition of something that I've been saying for quite some time, which is the current rate of interest rates is already slowing down. The inflation rate, I've kind of been harping on that for months. Today, many more people agreed. So in our indicators, in our trend triggers or our trade triggers, we have an up and we have a no trade zone. That's pretty strong right there. In our daily indicators, we have an up and a neutral. That's okay. That's pretty strong right there. And of course, in weekly, we're still not adding new securities. If we have a good day on Monday, we will start adding stocks clearly to Group 1 accounts and see what happens there. If I take a look at our option systems, you know that I have 4 different option systems. And we did add another trade this week for my options traders. We went into it on the 30th. We came out of it today. Remember that all this stuff in here is really for me. I mean, I make it available. You can see it. But really what you're interested in is over here. That trade we were in, this was a very long one. We were in it for full 7 days. We went right up to the expiration because this week has just been so volatile. We were positive, we were negative, we were positive, we were negative, and we had faith that this trade would work out. It did. We closed it early this morning. We made 27.58%. Again, we held it 7 days. Now our average holding is 3 days on this system. We're still batting 100%. That will not last forever. I hope it lasts for a while, but it won't last forever because 100% is unreasonable. The other thing is today for my options traders, we went into a new trade today on Ross Stores. We are making a bullish trade on Ross Stores. It has a 7 DTE. So again, this is very short term. DTE is days to expiration. And I will report to you next week on how that trade worked out. Hopefully it will do well. Again, in all of our stock systems, we didn't add any new stocks this week, so there's really nothing to cover there. Let's take a look at the markets. I'm going to go over to here. This is Go No Go Pro. What you see on the left, this is the S&P 500. What you're seeing on the left is the weekly, so each bar is 1 week. And what you're seeing on the right, same data, but each bar is 1 day. So on the daily chart, we did go from downtrend to amber. Amber is what they call go fishing bars, meaning we're not exactly sure how things are going to break, but I'm going to show you my opinion about that in just a minute. So, you know, what we want to see is we want to go back into a go trend on the daily, and then eventually, usually within a week or so, the weekly trend will then go into a go trend. And when we're in go, both weekly and daily, then both group 1 and group 2 are trading stocks. Right now, we're really close to getting into a go trend. So group 1 is probably going to start buying some additional stocks next week, but we'll go in slowly. The interesting thing is, you can see here on the daily chart, look at all these, look at how this week was. It was up, it was down. This is what I was talking to you about. It was just a really nowhere week. And for more than a week, it's been going sideways. Well, what that causes is this grid to build, and our oscillator, which is a momentum oscillator, to be building. It's on the 0 line, just moving sideways, because the market is just moving sideways. And what this is called is a squeeze, a momentum squeeze. If you think about a coil, the tighter you make the coil, eventually it's going to spring back out. Another analogy that works is, I mean, I spent most of my childhood in South Florida, so we were always in the pool with a ball, and you would take the ball and try to pull it down underwater, and eventually it would pop back up. That's what a squeeze is. The longer a squeeze goes on, and the maximum as it gets up into this area, as you can see on the weekly, so this is getting close, it's going to break, and it's either going to explode, if you will, to the upside or to the downside. We don't know yet, but we do have an idea. And before I get to the idea, we also have a pretty major squeeze on the weekly. So this is powerful. This market feels like, based on all of this, that it's setting up for a big move. Usually, not always, but usually when a squeeze breaks, this broke to the upside, you get a pretty strong move. Not always, but usually. So if this breaks to the upside, that could be showing us a pretty significant move to the upside is on our horizon. Now, one of the reasons I think it's going to break to the upside is because down here, I have the directional market index. And today, that broke to the upside. The green crossed the red. Now, it didn't show an enormous amount of strength. There's a faint line down here that I think you can see. It's called the ADX, and that's really low. But if this ADX starts turning back up, and especially if the red line is down and that ADX crosses the red line, that's powerful. So there are a number of things setting up. They're not there yet, but there are a number of things setting up that could, in fact, give us a pretty strong move. If it breaks to the downside, then we're going lower, and we will trade going lower. But I think that this feels like it wants to break to the upside. So I did want to show you that. Another thing that I'll show you is here again is the S&P 500. Here it is on the daily chart. You can see that squeeze. It's just sort of moving sideways. And it's just been kind of a wonky week. And for long-term trend lines, you can see the long-term, all of 2022, trend line has been down. But recently, since September, it looks like we're building. So this is called a flag. And eventually, if it just keeps going sideways, it has to move to the up or the down, because these two trend lines will continue to squeeze. So lots of things happening here, but a fascinating thing, if I take that same data and go out to the weekly, here's that same, here's 2022, you can see these long-term trend lines, and then you can see this short-term trend line. If we can get this market just to break that upper weekly trend line, this market could go significantly higher. And that's what I expect. We're not there yet. What this line says, and it's going to be hard for you to read, but I have alerts set, and this was a bullish 21-day or DTE signal. And what you're seeing is excuse me, I need to go back to the daily to show that to you, is that on the daily chart, again, you can see the DMI, the green crossed above the red. So that's a signal that we're getting close. Another signal is this faint green line, which is the 8-day moving average, needs to cross above this blue line, which is just above it, which is the 21-day moving average. If I have this up and the moving averages up, again, can you see that there's a lot of stuff that is building? It doesn't guarantee, but it is definitely building towards what could be a fairly explosive positive move to the upside. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what next week brings us. But I am liking what I am seeing, and we'll go from there. I will tell you, we only own a couple of stocks. We own Massey. And again, this is going to be hard to see, but the stop price is only 0.19% below our entry. So let's just call it flat. So we basically have a no-risk trade. We can't lose our initial principal because our stop and our entry are basically the same. The stop is 0.19 below it. So this stock is starting to move up. We've got a blue bar, which suggests we're in a strong uptrend for this stock. You can see that it's starting to move along this upper trend line. It really is not following this lower trend line. So that's good. That's one of our stocks. We're just going to keep letting it run. We have no time frame, and we'll keep raising our stop for as long as we can. We also own Schwab, and same thing. If you notice this, the stop is, and this is because of today's action, the stop is now right at where our entry point was. Actually, again, it's going to be hard to see, but we're actually above it by 0.29%. So again, what we have is a no-risk trade. We cannot lose the original principal that we had put into this stock. We're just going to let it continue to run. Our initial goal is to get 3 times the value of our stop, so 3 times reward to initial risk. But again, I can raise this upper target, and we're just going to let it run as long as it will go. If we're starting to move into a more bullish market, which I certainly hope, and there are a number of indicators that suggest that that's a real possibility, then these stocks will continue to run. And like I said, on Monday, if I go back to our trend analysis, on Monday, I will probably start slowly adding stocks to Group 1 accounts, depending on what happens with these indicators. We are not there yet for Group 2. I'll also tell you that, remember, if you saw last week's video, and I certainly hope you did, I have 4 stock market systems that are based on different risk analysis and scans and everything else. At maximum, we would get 5 stocks from CC Stocks, 5 from Swing, and 5 from GT. That's 15 stocks because I'm doing 3% per stock. And then, so yes, that would be 15% of our portfolio. And then, excuse me, that would be 45% because it would be 15 stocks times 3%. And then in the weekly, this could actually grow by 10 to 15 stocks in a full bull market. So what we're doing is I'm using 3% for each stock. And you'll notice that a lot because I'm hoping that we can build in a long bull market. We can build to maybe 25 stocks, 20 to 25 stocks, start at 3% in each one, which limits our risk exposure realistically because we have less exposed to risk. But all of them have fabulous upside potential. So that's going to happen. So that's our 4 stock portfolios. We have 4 option systems. We have 1 ETF system, which we'll be adding a couple of more ETFs, but we'll do that when weekly and daily trends are in alignment. So I hope that helps. I like what I'm seeing. This was a very rough week until today. This week went nowhere until today. We did have a fabulous options trade, which worked out really well. We got rid of it early this morning, thank goodness, because it would have gone against us this afternoon. But you know, it hit our target, so we took our profit and ran, which is part of the system. And we'll see if we can build on today's momentum going into next week. I certainly hope we can, and I've got a good feeling about it. So, but we'll wait and see. So that's a story, short video for this one. Like what I'm seeing. If you have any questions, of course, shoot me an email and we will talk about those. But hopefully we're going to start to move into more of a bullish trend. We can start adding more and more securities so we can take advantage of that bullish trend. That's, of course, the goal, and to move past this very long, difficult market. We're not there yet, but things look pretty good to me. So that's a story. Have an enjoyable weekend. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.